The result is screen history. 6 Oscars, one of the most beloved films of all time. At 17, Judy Garland had reached the pinnacle of Hollywood stardom. But everything did not work out. In 1941, at the age of 19, she collapsed from exhaustion while rehearsing for a new film. Instead of recommending treatment, the studio doctor simply prescribed more speed. But there was another reason for prescribing the little miracle pills. Speed was also a diet pill.
Between pictures, Judy would like to go to the restaurants and have a soda like everybody else. So when she put on a few pounds, the studio would say, we have to get you down for this film.
And that, again, is a classic use for amphetamines.
Judy Garland dabbled in the whole rainbow of little coloured pills, innocently skipping down her own yellow brick road into the tangled forest of addiction. The long working schedule and the indiscriminate handing out of amphetamines would be a crime in California today.
In those days, the studios didn't realize the diet pills were habit-forming and bad for you. Well, not even Louis B. Mayer knew the damage he was doing.
The damage is a chemical corruption of the brain. A normal brain releases dopamine along the reward pathways during pleasurable activities, pathways wired to the activities that are essential to human survival.
So eating and sex and all the good stuff, that these substances do play into that.
The introduction of an amphetamine artificially triggers the reward pathway system.
What happens is that once they're introduced into the brain, there's the reward pathway in the brain that with the chemical that's involved is dopamine. And dopamine is released with all sorts of pleasurable activities. And these substances will increase that even more so that there becomes the drive for people to want to do it more.
The mystery is, why did Judy Garland want to do it more than anybody else? Why did she have such a killer appetite? Could she have had an addictive personality?
An addictive personality is one where the person needs to distract their inner pain, their anguish, with some other experience that makes them feel better instantly.
Instant relief. Did the drugs dull the pain of her early childhood, curb the anxieties caused by fame at such an early age, and help her deal with the stress of so much work?
She never had a day off, and indeed she never had a day off the pills.
But these environmental conditions should have affected hundreds of children and adults on the lot. Why did some actors manage to escape addiction? What other factor was at work?
You can have 5 different people all exposed to these substances. If someone has this genetic predisposition, they become more addicted more quickly, more strongly as well. And the theory is that someone with a genetic predisposition, that whole reward pathway system is stronger.
According to Judy Garland's biographers, her father, Frank, had an alcohol problem.
Judy never had a chance. Her father was a drunk.
Did Judy Garland inherit the addiction gene?
I would think it would be an interplay probably between the genetic and environmental things that went on.
An unstable upbringing and a possible genetic predisposition to addiction, both set against the backdrop of the MGM movie machine. At the age of 17, Judy faced a daunting and dangerous landscape. But the next chapter of her life would muddy the waters even more as she embarked upon a series of romantic affairs with the most unlikely of male suitors. The fictional Dorothy is a little girl, and in the early 1940s, MGM tried to exploit that image. But behind the scenes, trouble was brewing. Judy Garland was a young woman and determined to grow up fast.
If you have your breasts bound and you are told that you are a little girl, you are desperate to prove that you aren't a little girl. So I think Judy slept with everybody she could
Judy was just so needy. And also the drugs would take down her inhibitions. So I think it was a very easy thing for her to slip into sex as a way of getting the attention she needed.
Judy was also desperate to be free of her mother. After a brief love affair with bandleader Artie Shaw, she married composer David Rose. She was 19, he 29. The marriage lasted less than 2 years, and she'd soon moved on to an intense affair with Tyrone Power, a telling liaison, as Power was known for his affairs with both women and men. Was the ghost of her father haunting her relationships? The affair with Power, however, was short-lived. By 1944, she had met director Vincent Minnelli on the set of Meet Me in St. Louis. The picture was a huge success, and Judy moved in with Minnelli.
When I was doing Meet Me in St. Louis with Judy, she was so happy because that was a very happy time for her because she was engaged to Vincent Minnelli, who is such a wonderful, gentle man.
If you like me like I like you and we like both the same.
Minnelli was a great director, and he took on Judy and he made her feel wonderful about herself.
They were married on the 15th of June 1945, 5 days after her 23rd birthday. But he was 19 years older and also gay.
She was attracted to gay men. She was also attracted to many men. And I think the fact that her father was a gay man created that sense of ambivalence.
It was a great tragedy for Judy that Vincent was gay. And this set a pattern which continued throughout her life of choosing gay men.
She was looking for someone to adore her and to protect her. And that was the constant theme in all of her marriages, whether they were gay or straight.
She went to New York on her honeymoon, and she took her pills and she threw them into the East River.
This was the first of many opportunities where Judy had a real chance to turn her life around. When she married Minnelli, she vowed to kick her habit. But could she?
She was blissfully happy when she became pregnant with Liza.
Liza May Minnelli was born on the 12th of March, 1946. Judy was living at home in Los Angeles and believed that she could control her pill habit. But the studio wanted her back, and Minnelli was party to the effort.
Unfortunately, he was the director, and for his own career, he really needed to encourage her back because Louis B. Mayer wanted her, and reluctantly she went back.
It wasn't long before she was back on the pills.
Judy felt that the whole world was asking her to do or be something that she didn't want to do or be. She was very depressed, and she was very high, much of the time. People at the studio were beginning to say she really is taking massive doses of these things.
But Vincent Minnelli was no match for an experienced addict. Although he cleared out the house, Judy had stashes of pills hidden everywhere.
One of the biggest problems with these substances is the development of tolerance. And tolerance means that you need higher and higher doses to get the same effect.
The higher and higher doses pushed her beyond bad judgment and fuzzy thinking into a nightmare of paranoia, sudden anger, black depression, and now something else. Suicide attempts. Although the first ones were superficial scratches, they became more and more dangerous.
She started very tentatively, in a way, to try to draw attention to herself by so-called suicide attempts.
I think one of the first suicide attempts happened at a time when she discovers that Vincent Minnelli is sleeping with a man.